Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Hampden Board of Selectmen, November 21st, 2022. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I've been before, might be RSV. All right, the board is recording this meeting. Is there anyone else that is recording the meeting? Great. Minutes, Pam. I'm told you have a delightful tome for us to read, something in the order of Shakespeare in quality. Really? That's awesome. October 17th, regular session. Ambulance Advisory Committee. Good deal on the Heart Spring. There's a dog issue. Bob, that employee handbook thing, you're going to touch on that. Is that this Wednesday we have a meeting or no? Is this Wednesday a staff meeting? Okay. The handbook change, are you going to touch on that? Okay.
Well, even though I'm only mentioned in here a couple of times, I'll move approval.
I do think barbecue is spelled wrong, but it could be wrong on the last page. Make them right. Last page.
Last page? Yeah, it should be. It's good. Maybe you. I don't remember. I did know about it.
Some truck just wandering in with barbecue. Okay. Fine, great. Was it good?
I didn't have it.
Oh. All in favor? Thank you.
Painful.
Painful, Eric, wasn't that? Like, seriously. So next on the agenda, we have State Senator Eric Lesser. Welcome. Either one, turn the mic on. Press that button. And Eric is here tonight with another check. Thank you so much.
Time's running out. You better cash them. Yeah.
First off, we want to thank you for what you've done for the town of Hampden. I've known you for a while. You know, you've always been there for our town. Lately, you know, you stepped up your game. I think Don referenced in a couple of meetings ago that, you know, you had the lead work on helping us with the bond package for the sidewalk and for the infrastructure improvements to the town hall as well. So what can you do before you leave? What else is there?
Well, we did do another economic development bill a couple of weeks ago. So the checks will hopefully start flowing from that. There's another tranche of the ARPA funds in there. And we're going to be leaving a little over $1 billion in ARPA left with the new administration to work with the legislature on in the new year. But the main thing I wanted to come by to do, Mr. Chairman, is really just say thank you. I really want to say thank you, most importantly, to the people of Hampden. It's really been a great honor to represent Hampden in the state senate the last 8 years, and we've really done a lot together. I was just thinking about even going back to the accessibility for the playground we did back in 2015, and so many other projects and programs of the regionalization effort around the dispatch, and it really goes on and on. But I really just want to say thank you to the people of Hampden for trusting me to represent them in the state senate for the last 8 years. And I really want to thank the board. I want to thank Mr. Marco, Mayor Marco. I want to thank you, Pam. You've been a great partner to us. And I really want to thank the employees of Hampden. They've been great. The police department, fire, the schools, the city or the town administration has really been great to work with. And you know, so I just wanted to say thank you. Definitely a lot of great memories of things we've worked on. And I'm not dying, I'm not moving, I'll be around. So I'm sure we'll all keep in touch with each other, but really wanted to just come by to say thank you. So, Don, John, Craig, really want to say thank you to each of you. And it's a very well run town. People can quote me on that, but we've had a great relationship, a lot of really close coordination, and it's been a lot of fun. Especially looking back, it's fun.
Well,
But,
always so. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you also for your staff.
Yes.
Again, Jennifer, Joel, the people before that. Oh my God, who was the chap before Joel?
Michael Clark.
Michael Clark, and he went on to the Jewish organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just everybody you had working with you, and I mean with you, worked with us.
Yeah.
We always felt there was that partnership between Hampden and the Senate office.
Yeah, I know Jennifer's been a fantastic champion. Stephanie Swanson, our chief of staff in Boston, I know has dealt with many of you, and as well as Liz May. Then became Liz Storms after she got married, and she's now off to a big new job with the state. And of course, Michael worked very closely, I know, with you, John, and certainly Joel and Jennifer now. So we've had a great team. So it's been a lot of fun, a really great experience.
Excellent.
So let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
So you're young. You're
relatively, let's say, please. Okay.
Anyone's younger than me, but you're young, and obviously government service is in your blood. And we got to get the East-West Rail done, and things like that. So eventually the congressional seat will be opened up. So
something we don't? Is Richie in bad health? What?
I just thought, well, you can't live forever. I just hope that you stay involved and you stay in politics and you run for something else again. I mean, you're talking to, I spent 30 years.
I was going to say, true pro, yeah.
So it's really important to have good people in the government, and you're one of the best that I
appreciate that, Don. Thank you. Means a lot, especially coming from you. Yeah, I was going to say, we were joking before. I mean, this has got to be, I love all of our select boards, but this select board has got to pack the biggest punch in terms of experience and gravitas. And of course, they've got a very able manager and team backing them up. So, and Don, your experience in working with the Attorney General Harshbarger and doing so many other other things is well.
Yeah, he was on the phone about 50 times during the election, because he's down in Florida, right? Wondering what was going on, who was winning what. I said, just go on the internet. You don't have time for that.
It's funny.
So as far as going forward with your successor now, how are you guys going to hand off that transfer? You guys will work closely together for a little while.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, Senator-elect Oliveira is familiar with a lot of the issues. He was a state rep. He worked closely with me both when he was state rep and he was on the Ludlow School Committee before that. So we've known each other a long time. So we've been in active touch, the whole campaign, and we've been in touch with each other since the transition. And we'll make sure all the kind of active files, all the pending requests and all of that gets transferred over to him. So I expect it to be pretty smooth.
And we're fortunate that we have, Brian, who is coming into seniority level in the state as well. And we also have a partner in Angelo.
Absolutely.
Who understands Hampden because of our partnership with Wilbraham. Yep. So I think, the three of you have represented our district very well.
It's a strong delegation, and it's also now, you also have Senator Gomez, you have Senator Goby right next door. You also have Senator Comerford just to the north. So the fun part about the Western Mass delegation, and the nice part, is that because we're such a small group, there are more state reps and state senators representing neighborhoods in Boston than the entire 4-county region of Western Mass. So we tend to sign on to all of each other's initiatives, co-sponsor all of each other's bills, and really work pretty collaboratively. So because of that, I think there's a lot more familiarity with Hampden's issues than there might otherwise be in a different region. So it would be in good shape.
Hey, what about what about the foundation? The
Crumbly Foundation. Right? So I was disappointed with how that wrapped up this session. We, as you know, we had worked very closely with Senator Goby, who filed the legislation in the Senate, and Representative Ash, who did it in the House, to try to get both a commission set up and also a new requirement to do basically the pyrite testing to make sure to certify quarries to make sure that we're not continuing to quarry out this material, and also a much more comprehensive reimbursement program for the homeowners. Unfortunately, that legislation, it made it through the Senate, it made it to the governor, but the governor returned it with amendment, which is effectively a veto when we go past the July 31 deadline. So, you know, a lot of the prep work has now been done. The bill has been passed in the legislature. So the next step is going to be in January when the new legislature convenes. You'll have a new governor. I think you'll be able to start new at getting that done. But that's a very, very urgent piece of unfinished business.
Yeah, the reason I ask is I don't think we have any houses in Hampden, or if we don't have any. One. But they were also using it for septic tanks too. And of course, we're all on septic here, so. And I don't know.
Yeah, so you know there is a testing program. There's reimbursement right now for the testing, so people can get their foundation tested, and then they can get that reimbursed from the state. So right now, I think it's been used for foundations, but we can work with the state to make sure that the septic tank testing is included there too. You know, in the scheme of things, that's a little bit of a more manageable fixing project than compared to a foundation of a house. So, you know, but it's we did a lot of work, and again, this will get transferred over to Senator-elect Oliveira on in Connecticut. They created an insurance vehicle, and they essentially created like a holding company to hold the claims and to then distribute the claims of the damaged foundations. And my personal opinion is eventually that's what we're going to need to do in Massachusetts. I mean, we don't have it at the same scale because the quarry is visibly located in Connecticut. Got enough, impacted in enough communities that I think that's where we ultimately got to go.
You know, I found that most senators, representatives try to help you when you ask. I found most helpful about your staff. Was Representative Ad, that they send out, hey, here's an opportunity for the town. I might have missed otherwise. I think that certainly has contributed to Town of Hampden receiving a lot of support.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Great.
Well, we don't have any parting gifts.
No.
Apologize.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you. And
we're going to get you a citation from the Senate with that. That's good.
Yeah. I know. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Very purposeful.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, Kelly on. Kelly? No. Good. Okay, good. Gentlemen. All right then. Bob, want to come up?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
I like
it.
All right, yeah. Don't talk about the hidden money, not in front of the mic, okay, please.
Is Kelly coming up?
Yeah, she should be signing in momentarily.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are we gonna do ahead of that? He's not here yet. Must look at that one. That's good. He can make you co-host and you would see the people looking. Straightforward married. Okay. How's everybody feeling, Kelly? Better? You're muted. You're muted.
Can you unmute yourself now?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. We're getting there. So thank you for allowing me to join remotely.
Right. Great.
Um,
All right. So we have the tax classification again. Didn't we do this last year? Why are you back? Why are you back? Seriously. Huh? Okay. So we have a choice of setting the tax rate. We have some exemptions to vote on. Anybody want to make any statements prior to that? Dick, do you have any comments or you're here for a good time? Wow. And we're all like, huh, yeah. Eric's laughing on his way out right now. So, all right, who's kicking off? Kelly?
Yes.
okay. Hello. Yes, so the purpose of this hearing is for the Board of Assessors to provide information to the Board of Selectmen regarding the tax rate options available to the town under the property tax classification. Can you hear me?
Hold on.
That's the recording of the meeting volume.
Can you hear? Okay. So I'll start over. The purpose of this hearing is for the Board of Assessors to provide information to the Board of Selectmen regarding the tax rate options available to the town under the property tax classification. The Selectmen will then decide on a factor to establish the allocation of the tax levy. There will be 4 votes required tonight, which will determine the share of the levy to be borne by each class of property. Please note that the fiscal year 2023 tax rate has not yet been approved and that this hearing does not determine what the actual tax rate will be. The estimated tax rate being used is subject to change, and final tax rates can change slightly when submitted to the Department of Revenue. And first, I just would like to give you a quick overview before we get into the votes. So all of our fiscal year 2023 values for the real and the personal property have been approved by the DOR. The town's valuation has increased from $721,113,612 in fiscal year 22 to $802,976,576 in fiscal 23, which is an increase of $80,862,964. Of that increase, over 13 million was due to new growth. So over 6.5 million of the new growth was from our 4 public utility accounts. And then we also had a new solar array on Mill Road, which became operational for fiscal year 23. And we saw almost 2 million in new growth from that project. The remaining increase in the town value is mainly due to the increase in the market. So the average single family home has actually increased by 12% from 309,000 to 346,000 for fiscal year 23. So that's an increase of $37,000 in value. Because the values have increased so significantly, though, that has helped with the tax rate and has lowered the estimated tax rate significantly from $18.72 in fiscal year 22 to $16.88 for fiscal year 23. So although the average single family home has increased by 12%, the actual tax bill increase is less than 1%, approximately 0.97%, which equals a $56 increase for the year. So now just getting back to the required votes for tonight. So the first vote is the selection of the minimum residential factor. A factor of 1 equals a single tax rate. The vote number 2 is the open space discount. The town of Hampden currently does not have any properties classified in open space. Vote 3 is the residential exemption, which shifts the burden within the residential class onto the higher priced non-owner occupied properties, which this has been adopted in a few communities with large numbers of vacation homes. And vote number 4 is the small commercial exemption, which shifts the burden from qualifying small businesses to other commercial and industrial properties. So out of 40 commercial properties, fewer than 10 may qualify for this exemption. And I did send over the packet to you. Did you have a chance to review? I know I sent a revised version. Did anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Kelly, the open space discount, that's not, like, is that chapter of land 61B or 6?
No, that's actually, so the chapter 61B is open space and recreational land, but it's not actually classified as open space for the purpose of taxation.
What would be open space?
So we do not have any. We've never had any in town. I'd have to look at some other communities that have it. But that is one common misconception with the 61B because it specifically says open space, but that's for a different purpose.
And the solar on Mill Road, that's the Park Avenue one?
It is, yes.
Okay, and they don't have a pilot, right? So it's personal property. And so does that depreciate every year?
It does depreciate every year, yes, whether there's a pilot agreement or not.
Right. So this year, this would be the highest value probably.
Unless they continue to add more. Exactly. And if they continue to add anything more, then that would constitute as new growth for that year because there's no pilot in place.
Yeah. So we need to make motions on all 4 of these?
Yes, please. And then I did send over the form that would need to be signed after the votes are taken.
So I move that this is number 1. I move we adopt a minimum single factor minimum residential tax rate.
Now, typically, is this a joint vote or just our vote? It's just all those in favor? Thank you. Right.
Election or no? Okay. Second. Okay. I know we take no action on the residential township, right? We don't want to shift on the property.
All in favor? All in favor? All right. Kelly, it took you longer to, school us than it took us to vote. Thank you. But again, Kelly, great job for you and Jane and your board, although I'm not sure how much help they are. But I think you guys,
help.
I'm sure.
Smart enough to hire.
Yeah, well done, well done. But again, this is a lot of work. You mentioned that this isn't really locked in yet. When do you expect that to be locked in?
Hopefully within the next week or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, now that we have the vote, we can sign. We need to sign. State.
But I think the big thing you stated was the fact that the tax rate's going down, fine. Values went up, fine, but the average tax bill is going up less than 1%. And you look at inflation, and you look at the fact we passed a budget that went up, obviously more than 1%. This. No, I thought you said the bill was going up $60. Bill's going up $60.
About $56.
Yeah. Right. I know what you're saying. Amazing. And we're leaving, how much are we leaving underneath the levy?
I don't know.
You don't want to say? Okay,
It's a big one.
it is a big number. Really? So we're nowhere near. You look at some of the
No.
towns, Don and I have talked about, you look at Long Meadow or even Wolverhampton was going through it and they were bumping up against it. Yeah.
They have this.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. So what you're saying then is that if we had a construction project that was on the horizon the next year or so, we would have no problem borrowing or funding such project. I know, but do you know of any project in the near future? Norm, you think of any project? All right. Sounds good.
All right.
All right, Kelly, feel better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Okay.
Ted can hear.
So. No. Just those who want the discount on that. Oh, yeah. Deleted 2 bedroom. I'm down to 1 bedroom and 1 down right now, I think. Just myself, you want all 3? Sure, we don't sign next door. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Right. Yeah, sure. We're ready. Oh yeah, right him. No, we're still ready for you.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, keep it quick. Mark, how are you? We asked for you to stop by just to go over the end of the calendar year, and what you got done for construction and what you're looking at for the rest of the fiscal year. Look at the money you've got. Oh my gosh.
This is just an overview of where we are to date.
Mhm.
For project year 22 construction project. Quick rundown. Basically, Summers Road, that'll be in the spring, so I wasn't able to put figures on that. I lost the battle with the sports.
Mhm.
So that spring.
Yep.
North Road, they started on today. North Road. Some farm work on Mountain Road. I'm having some extra farm work on both. So we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. So what project is left for the spring? The Summers Road? Okay.
Which will be a partial chapter. Chapter paving.
Stone Mill Road and paving, some. Very good.
Much too early to put you on the spot for this, but you have your short list for next construction season ready to go. I mean, you gotta see what the winter brings, but you must have an idea.
I do. Generally, I have an idea. I like to just kind of review that,
Mhm.
do that list in case something pops up with the breaks. So, that's based on pothole repair, traffic, rates, a number of things.
Lady saying she can't hear you much. I'll pull the mic closer to you. Okay, so quick question. How's the crosswalk?
Crosswalk is moving along very nicely. They did the first pour today on the long sections that we mapped out. Second pour will be tomorrow at 11 on the ramps on both sides of the road leading down to the road. Of course, with the ADA pads and everything else.
How soon before you stripe it?
I'd like to either stripe it tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday. I'd like to stripe that. It's going to be a temporary stripe with this time of year, with the cold weather. We're going to get something temporary on there. We're going to black out the old crosswalk. And in the springtime, once they mill and pave Summers Road, we'll go in there and we'll put a much nicer crosswalk. Yeah.
All right, when it's done, Don, three of us can go over to the Abbey Road picture right across the road there.
Yeah. Not the ribbon.
Sure, exactly. Make sure the button works, right?
Well, we did test the button.
Did you?
We did, actually, we did.
Oh yeah, yep. Everything's.
Yeah, but we need to if it can be adjusted, I think we adjust it to blink a little bit longer because I don't think a lot of those people will be doing a sprint across the road.
Yeah, let me look into that. That's right. Let's see if we can adjust that.
That's pretty negative, Don. I think,
I've got a call.
Speaking from experience. and how's your highway garage expansion going?
Good. We have the gas inspection. The fan is going in, the light. I think we're looking at a little ceremony after the holiday, right?
Yes, I mean, there's been a holdup with the AmeriGas, quite honestly, and so it's everything's ready to go. Inspection.
So we have to wait for them to come out and say
it's a process. First of all, it's a process getting a hold of anybody, and then it's a process to get them to come back, which has been the story of any and every contractor this year.
And the security system, anywhere in the security system?
I'm sorry?
Anywhere in the security system? Did we get that?
No, I have not heard anything on that.
Any investments there? And then what's your new truck?
So I didn't want to say anything.
I know, that's why I asked you.
But here we are. So I did track down somebody to talk to over at MHQ, and I was told that our truck has been, we have a truck. The order was never canceled, which is good news, and that it's due to be delivered to their place by the end of November. I wanted to give them a couple of weeks and then I'll call back and follow up on that. But actually that's good news.
Okay.
So, the order.
So you got everything but the VIN number at this point. So
no, there's been a VIN number assigned to the truck and everything. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, I didn't want to say anything because with my luck, it would have been canceled or something would happen. So
here's your truck.
I didn't want to change it.
Okay, you've got your winter report as well, and I was up there and I saw you've got the shed of the salt and sand filled, ready for residents to take advantage of.
Yep, absolutely.
We asked more people. We're not talking fill the back of your truck, come with a 5-gallon pail, fill it up for personal use.
Sure,
And you're working with Becky as well on the sand for seniors.
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yep.
For delivery.
Yeah, and that's so that's been going well. We still have a full salt shed, even though we did go out last week to treat our mains and hills. We had about an inch of snow.
Mhm.
What's salt going for this year?
Oh, I want to say it went up $10 a ton from last year.
Yeah.
It's in the low 70s.
Let's say you were telling me 70.
It's like 70. It's like $71 or
Yeah.
$72 a ton.
And then you also said you had a backup plan in case, you've got a second source just in case.
Correct.
So as a commodity trader, do you think I should invest in salt or?
Well, not Bitcoin anymore. You hope you gave up your Bitcoin.
Is that a
I got a question.
Rare
on salt.
mineral.
Do most communities around here use salt or some other mix of some sort, or is it pretty common?
Rock salt is the most common.
Yeah.
I think a lot of communities are getting away from sand for a number of reasons, environmental reasons, clean up in the spring. You're saving on sweeping, catch basin cleaning, and stuff like that. So that money I'm actually able to make go further with catch basin cleaning and street sweeping. There's all kinds of stuff out there. I mean, there's liquids, there's brine, there's like it's kind of like a molasses. It's like a beer batter or the byproduct from the beer making process, in which they mix calcium chloride or magnesium chloride with. But then that's your storage. You have to have the tanks, then you have to have the apparatus on the truck to.
All your trucks now, they're all stainless steel bodies, right? Or stainless steel sanders, so they're not going to.
Correct. Yep. Either stainless steel all season bodies or stainless steel slide-in sanders.
When you buy it, you're in a big consortium, right? I mean, there's a big co-op.
For the salt.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. There's maybe 9 or 10 towns, if not more.
Of course, we always complain about the sand problem. You buy it cheap and it costs you an incredible amount to get rid of it because now it's hazardous material. You clean it out, you have to dispose of it, which is, like Craig said, you look at the salt, which should be honestly a little more of a concern rather than the sand. But thank you, state. That's what they do for us.
Well, I mean, even from an environmental standpoint, every year on my end of the year report for the stormwater, I've got to actually show either a decline in sand use or I have to show some sort of a decline.
Yep.
Yeah, with the stormwater, they're big on.
Yeah.
The materials going in.
Ecologically, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what's your next biggest concern? Now obviously we've got the meeting on December 5th, and we'll talk about next fiscal year's concerns at that point. Anything for the rest of this fiscal year that's jumping out at you? You just had a retirement, you got a new person on.
That's correct.
Drivers for the winter are looking good.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Right.
I think overall we're in really good shape. We're been busy. We're going to be busy as long as the weather holds out. We'll have a lot more berm to back after this week and next week, and they're finishing up that construction. Right. So just
all trucks are good to go for this season.
I'm sorry.
All trucks are good to go.
Yes. Yep.
And then, of course, we have our ongoing bridge concerns, and a lot of that is sit and wait at this point, too.
Sure. Right? So I do have just a little bit of information. I did meet with, a few weeks ago, I met with a representative from VHB and out of Springfield, and a representative from Mass DOT Bridge Division over on South Road. They wanted to have a in-person site visit to see what the project entails, and they seemed pleasantly surprised. Actually, they told me they were pleasantly surprised at what they saw, what they had to work with, and they think it's going to be a smooth project. And the next step is they're going to be working on numbers for the estimates. And so I'm waiting on them. So that's moving along. I will say that while I had one of the representatives over there, I asked about the Rocket Dundee bridge, and she was on that meeting that we were all on that time. But she needed to do some asking. Because off the top of her head, she couldn't remember exactly, but couldn't really give me an answer if they've even decided to repair or replace. And there was some logistics that still needed to be worked out.
15 people on that meeting.
Yeah.
And nobody had a clue.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Other than that, I think. Yeah.
Great.
We all drive around the region and in the various towns. It's clear that Hampden has the best maintained arterial streets in the community. And it's always striking to me when I come down East Long Meadow Road at the town line, the difference between the Hampden section and the other communities.
Good job. Kudos to you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a nice ride home.
Thanks.
Now it's you. Bob, your mic is off. Star of stage screen. There.
Hi.
Okay. How many people do you need to work?
How many do I need?
Yeah.
Well, I need a lot of people to work.
Do you have anybody for tax work off that would like to be a Zoom operator?
Possible. I mean, I could put it out there.
That would be great.
Sure.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm here to request the continuation of the tax work-off program for 2023. The town in the past has approved 10 positions and for 10 positions again, possible. The minimum wage goes up in January, so the rate of pay changes, but the abatement is still the $1,500. So the volunteers would be working 100 hours next year in order to meet that. What we find at the senior center is that we rope people in and they start the tax work-off program and then they stay on as volunteers, which is fantastic for us. The only two departments that have utilized the program this year are the senior center and the library, because we were unable to find people who were willing to do the work that was being requested by the cemetery commission. And no one was technically capable to do the job that was needed at the highway department. So we weren't able to fill those positions.
What do they need to do at the cemetery?
So the cemetery commission was asking for someone to physically go out and locate graves. So there's
stick in the ground.
a large metal pole that would have to go into the ground, and then they have to flag the four corners of the coffin. And so the participants that applied for the program were not physically able to do that job. And so they came to the senior center. But they just weren't able to physically do that kind of work. And there was also a prior year where the cemetery asked for a painting project for one of the fences to be done. And that was also not something that it was physical capability restrictions that didn't allow that to happen.
Well, I'm just considering the this question.
You want the job? Seriously?
No,
I don't think you can do that.
no. I want to know. Are you saying they don't know where the graves are? You probably can't answer.
Yeah, I
No.
had some similar
I-
questions too.
No,
I would
this is
defer
okay.
to the cemetery.
I'll
commission.
go back years ago, and I think it was, you may recall, they came back looking for software. Remember, Jim was on the board at that time, and to get a better database of where it was basically, and it's happened in the past where the database hasn't been kept up to date. I think even Ben Bump was up there helping with the stick, and they're fine tuning their database.
Are they just trying to find out space size that they can?
There have been occasions where they've dug and like, whoops, huh? This is not an empty space. But they're working to improve that. They work. But
That's out of my
it happens.
jurisdiction.
Yeah, I know it.
Huh?
I know it. it's just. And
We'll bring it
fire
up at the-
department, the highway department, I'm wondering, if we get we had just got this IP grant to digitize documents, would that be a position that could be filled, someone to do that?
I think Bob had said he got funding to pay somebody. But
He was thinking out of the grant, basically, yeah. I mean, that's a big job and a lot of commitment to it. That's, no.
So if you approve the program, then what I typically do is send an email out to all of the department heads and ask if anyone is interested in having a position. If it's a new position that hasn't been approved before, then it comes back to you all to approve a new position for the program. If it's something that, like the senior center and the library, they've all been approved previously by you all. So we don't need approval for those, but I do request, from all department heads if they're looking for someone.
Yeah.
Okay, if you took a request from basically Bob/Pam right now for I want to say townwide Zoom operator, how would you want that request to come to you? I mean, can we make it right now or?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. If you are officially kind of approving a position right now, then I can add it in.
Mhm.
And when we advertise the program, I can advertise that as one of the positions.
We've been kicking it around for a while. I think it's a tremendous need to help the admins at the meetings to run the Zoom part.
Yep,
I mean,
it would just need to be, if there's a specific time, if it's this meeting or if there's other meetings during the week that you're looking for someone, specific times, they may not be able to do all
Mhm.
of the meetings, but
Is
maybe
the
commit
board
to
in
some.
favor of making that request?
Yes, I am.
Right.
Sure.
So we need a motion to approve the
Request for tax work
Request for
up to
10
10 positions. We have currently 7, possibly 8 formulated. And you're not aware of any others.
Not at this time, but
Well,
I
you may get them back.
didn't ask the department heads until it was approved, so.
Okay, great.
I move that we approve the 10 position for.
second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
Great, thanks so much.
Second.
Thank you.
Right. I don't
There's
see
a
Jesse
lawyer.
yet. Yep. We're running a little early. Do we have any correspondence
You wanna do
or? Great idea. Great idea. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, those are awesome.
Got a stack of common Vicks.
Vicatulers.
You want to do these as a packet as, so do you want all the names?
I want the names and addresses. Everyone asking.
You can.
How many other total? I saw you had the list.
This, that is on food establishments.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this is
Surprising.
yeah, this one's on this
There's
here
no-
for food establishments. We have those too. Retail beverages.
Oh, there's no table list for the. Great. That's fine. So we can do it now. Craig, are you bringing forth a motion to, as endorsed by the health department?
Yes, yep. Common Vicks, we have the licenses. Common Vicks. I'm not even gonna bother to pronounce
The
the word.
victim-
Don,
the
you did
victims.
well last time.
Yeah. Articulate. That sounds like a medical device. Are you sure?
Should read the names.
Oh, we got VFW, Village Food Mart, Reed's Corner, Great Horse, Mountain View Drive-In, Gio's Pizza, Flocacina, Hampden Mini Mart, Min Chow. But they're gone, right?
They're gone.
Do they pay the money though?
Lose.
Look.
Yeah, finger got stuck. Friends of Senior Center, Dunkin' Donuts. What's this? Denoseb, I think.
Isn't it Subway?
Yeah, that's that one too, right? Oh, Subway. Convenience Plus. Casabella, and Bailiff again. They have two.
That happened last year.
We have two
Remember that?
Casabella and two for Bailiff.
Remember that happened last year?
Did it?
Yeah, you got two big ones.
Bailiff. All right, so there we go. So we need a motion to approve these comments.
So moved.
Second. All there? Then we have permit to operate food establishment. We have a ton in here too. Mountain View, Connell's Oil, Convenience Plus, VFW, La Cucina, Reed's, Village Food Mart, Lou's Bagel Nook, Discount Liquors, Mini Mart, Dunkin' Donuts, Vantage, Federated Church, Green Meadows, Friends of the Senior Center, Hampton, Park and Rec, Council on Aging, Milton's, Geo's, Hampton Farmers Market, Rock Shop, La Cucina, Great Horse, Casabella, Honey Bear Teas, Indulgence by Ingrid, St. Mary's, and Farmer Brown Family Fresh. We need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
No problem. Yeah. This we got that early. Speaking of licenses though, and Don brought up a good point earlier. So we don't want to get to the end of the year. Are you working on the entertainment licenses now, or you will start that in December? Okay. Mhm.
Police have to look at that, right?
Right.
We had a couple of the question ones from last year too. So.
Right. Right, for the liquor permit. Okay.
Does it have to go through the state first?
Yeah, their holdup on that was the fact they didn't have a company person who lived in Mass. Since the two were living in Connecticut, so they had to do something in their company and then come to ABCC for that. Yeah. So let's be cognizant of the fact that in December, Bob, is it all three meetings you're missing? Well, I'm not even sure if we're meeting on the 27th at this point, but you're out for the 12th and 19th for sure, right?
Yes.
You know, maybe the only reason we might meet on the 27th would be signing licenses, something like that, and exchanging gifts, which is typical, right?
No.
Oh, you are. Just change that because you heard about the gifts. I think that was whatever you're bringing back from New Zealand for us, Bob. Great. All right. Anything from different board members?
No. Parks and Recs tomorrow, and Jane and I met last week and went through the Board of Health trailer, kind of organized, take inventory, make sure everything's up to date and secure. It's good.
Okay. Housing Authority on Wednesday, and we'll probably touch on the crosswalk. I've been looking forward to a little parade across. Perhaps, Donna, we can do the time test at that time.
Yeah.
You know, see how quickly they make it across.
Oh, I do have something.
Okay.
The Mass Audubon Society made a presentation to the Conservation Commission about the land that they want to put in the Conservation Trust or but they would like to come before the Board of Selectmen at some point in the near future to talk about the program.
Great. All right, there's nothing else to come before the board. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session. Bob, do you have anything to talk about?
I do. I have something really exciting.
Does anybody want to hear Bob talk?
I'll go through it quickly. I've been in touch with the Tecton representative, Jeff McElwain, and they have met with fire staff, and they're planning the first community meeting regarding the fire station project on January the 17th. First, Hampden County managers and administration
administrators meetings will be on December the 9th. And here is the interesting news. We put a survey on the town website asking residents if they support or oppose a sidewalk along Summers Road from the senior center down to Main Street. And those are the results so far. 172 in favor, 109 opposed.
I have to say, I'm a little surprised. I would have thought when you put in there the fact it was grant funding, so it wasn't going to cost us anything. And people are like, well, if it's free, I'll go for it. And I'm kind of surprised it's only, and you didn't do the math for us, which I kind of resent. But it looks like in the 60, not quite 2/3, 60%, basically. I would have thought a higher percentage.
Now, is this just the mail-in ballots, or is this the early voting, or is this the mail-in?
No, this is voting on the website.
So you haven't counted the in-person voting
Yeah,
yet.
I specified that the voting will be open until the
Get the right answer.
end of this month.
I want to recount right now.
Cultural Council received a grant of $6,200.
Nice.
I met today with the folks involved with the key issue at Academy Halls. It turns out this issue was more complicated than it seemed. So we're going to have another meeting and get it worked out. Action Ambulance rebate is $14,602. We did receive an IT grant for $75,000 for a document management program. I also listed the MVP meeting website there. We are upgrading the town website to make it fully handicap accessible. And that includes the purchase of some software called Audio Eye, which this board approved. And that will enable those with handicaps to use the website to get information. Tomorrow we're doing a meeting with the east of the Connecticut River Chamber of Commerce to discuss a Hike Hampden program next year. And also, again, the representative of the Veterans District is needed. And the moderator suggests at least a selectman be appointed temporarily until we can recruit someone with a veteran's background who would be willing to represent the town at the regular monthly meetings of the Veterans District. That's important. Also, I have one other thing here. This came in today from the chair of the planning board. They're looking to have representatives from various municipal departments participate in the master plan update.
Okay.
And that's
Great. Thank you, Bob.
Mr. Chairman, I move we move into executive session to discuss strategy relative to litigation. The chair determined would be detrimental effect on the litigating position of our public body. And this is to review the storage cases with the planning board, and we will not return to a regular session.
All right. John Flynn, aye.
Al Davenport, aye.
Okay, thank you all on Zoom.